Hey, welcome everyone. It's 7 o'clock and I am Jacqui Lewis. I am the clinical nutritionist for BN Multi, and every Tuesday night we meet here on the BN Multi page, and it's as a result of our BN Bariatric group. So if you're part of the group, you'll be aware that during the week we have opportunities for you to ask all your bariatric related questions and post them in the group so that I can answer them on a Tuesday night. So each week, pop it in your diary, 7 p.m. we're here, and we hope to help with making the process much, much easier. There's also a group of 7,000 people in the group who are also on the same path. So it's nice to meet like-minded individuals, and we share stories. We talk about inspirational stories. We have Transformation Tuesday. And across the weeks, we also have a different topic. So each week we come up with something new that we feel or we have heard that you would like to know more about. And we do that via our poll in the group. And this week we're talking about healthy swapping. So things we can swap in and out for making our meals more nutritious, more filling, more satisfying, and more tasty. And so tonight I'll go through a range of different ideas on healthy swaps. And also we'll have a look at some questions that were asked during the week. So I might start with questions first tonight, because there was a really good one. Luke was asking, what does the research say about probiotics after gastric sleeve? And it's a great question, because the actual surgery's goal is to firstly change your metabolic trajectory as far as the hormones that reside in your stomach that govern hunger and satiety and that sort of thing, but also housed in that little pocket is your microbiome. So there's two things I'll say, and I found some really good articles that I'll also post in the group, that yes, your microbiome will change after surgery, and it's likely it'll be for the better. And most of that is centered around removing the foods that disrupt your microbiome. So a lot of the time prior to surgery, refined foods are quite high on the list. Also sugars, not much fiber. So if your diet is not what it could be before surgery, generally you'll find you're in a state of what we call dysbiosis, which is where you have an overgrowth of bacteria that are not helpful for good health, immunity, that sort of thing, also contribute to fermentation and reflux and that sort of stuff. So it's overall, the gut health isn't always quite what it could be before the surgery. The surgery does interrupt this and does correct some of it. But also the fact that you change your diet significantly after surgery is another benefit for microbiome. The offshoot of that is that there's all types of different bacteria that all have different names, and the research is showing that there are certain strains of bacteria that if we have more of them, it's likely that our bodies will be more lean, carry less fat, and perhaps even more muscular. So it's looking at healthy gut microbes from that perspective as overall managing your weight and your overall health and vitality. So I will post some articles in the group that talk about probiotic supplementation after surgery. But not only probiotic supplementation, it's about eating the prebiotic foods. So you probably heard me talk about this before, where we have probiotic, which is pro meaning for, and that's actual bacteria. Then you have prebiotic, and those are foods that have certain fibers in them that are really good for feeding those microbes and helping them to establish a little crowd in your tummy. So yes, it's a great idea if you do supplement with a probiotic. Do some research though, or get some input from a practitioner who knows what they're doing as far as which strains of bacteria you're taking. So there's a ream of research on different microbes and what jobs they do in the body. For example, people with hay fever, dermatitis, asthma, that sort of thing will benefit from a certain probiotic strain called rhamnosus. There's other ones like Reuteri. There's lactobacillus you've probably heard of. It's a whole, it's, you know, and the research is just growing and growing on the microbiome and the bacteria. Ideally, what you want is the consistency of them being put in and being given the opportunity to establish a cluster, or what we call colony. So you'll see on the bottle of probiotics, it'll say CFU 1 million something or other. And the CFU is a colony forming unit. So they're looking at sort of putting that supplement in. What can you expect as far as proliferation of this bacteria to set up camp, basically? What that does is crowds out the bad guys who are not helping your health, and it works on this population kind of concept, where if you have a range of health-giving bacteria and they're well established and they're being fed on a regular basis, you'll find that the things like, you know, candida and yeast overgrowths and the more what we call opportunistic bacteria can't set up camp in there. So that means that actual bacteria that might cause you cold and flu or gastroenteritis and that sort of thing, often if you've got a really robust microbiome and your gut's healthy, you'll be much, much more resilient to incoming pathogenic or bad guys. So it's a great question. It does need to be more, if you are going to supplement, you can look at including foods which have probiotic qualities, like not Yakult, like if you're looking at yogurt, the best form of yogurt has been shown to be the Activia brand. Not meant to say brands, but look for something that's kind of been proven to have an impact on your gut health. Things like the Gelner yogurt, that's hot set biodynamic yogurts, will have more life in them. Also look for organic where possible, and it's just a better quality of the milks to begin with. So yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, tempeh, fermented foods like, let me think off the top of my head, there's some other really good ones, will all help with gut microbiome. If you're really wanting to see change fast, you would put a supplement in, but also, again, check the strains, and also you can change it up. So I'll post in the group, there are some specific strains they are finding that are beneficial for obesity or having a leaner body. And one of the articles I'll post was actually saying that they did a study on 2 groups who were looking at weight loss, and they gave them certain probiotic strains, and the ones who took the probiotics lost 10% more body fat. So you can't argue. So it is an incredibly vast area of research, and things are changing all the time, but certainly looking at your gut health is a real key to inner health. So thank you for that. It's quite thought-provoking and helpful for everyone, I think. So thanks, Luke. There's 2 links I'll post in the group, which are some really good articles. You can do some further reading if you're interested. Another one from Karen. I bought some bee pollen. This is an interesting one, and I was impressed with the claimed benefits, mainly the amount of protein and the anti-inflammatory benefits. Has anyone else tried this product, and what did you think of it? Watch that, because bee pollen can be highly allergenic. So if you've got anything wrong with any reactions to bee stings, that sort of thing, I would steer really clear of it. Honey has been proven to be great for allergies, seasonal allergies. And if you can get honey that's local to your area, it's actually really protective for people who do have hay fever and, reactivity to the environment. It gives you the native pollens from your area. And I know in Brisbane there is a group or groups who are doing neighbourhood honeys, and that means that people who are eating those honeys are kind of being exposed to those helpful bee-loving components in the honey. Bee pollen is a slightly different story. It is good for anti-inflammatory, and it's got some key kind of nutrients in it. It's just that you don't take much of it. So the recommended dose is like a half a teaspoon, quarter of a teaspoon for a half a teaspoon, which then, if you're looking at it for the protein content, it's not going to contribute to your dietary protein too much. It's more to sprinkle on cereal and to add a boost of kind of antioxidants and other benefits, which I would say yes to, but I wouldn't get caught up in the protein content because you don't take much of it. And it comes in a jar that's only about, I think it's about 100 grams. And per 100 grams, it was like 20 grams of protein, which, yes, is good, but you'd have to eat the whole 100 grams, and we don't do that in one sitting. So it is a good question, and I'd be interested to see how you find the benefits of the bee pollen. I haven't used it myself. So thank you. They are the questions. I'm going to show you the poll from last week. We talked about this month's challenge. Let me find my thingy so I can share the camera. This month's challenge is, multitasking. This month's challenge is about swapping out unhealthy condiments, and something changes in my system every night. Here we go. So I want to share this one. Yeah, and then I'll move out of the way. What's your go-to replacement for salad dressing, which is cool? I think when we're eating lots of veggies and, predominantly meals that are meat and vegetables, it's nice to be able to dress them up with something that's yummy, but also something that's not going to be adding things to your diet that you don't want. So we're talking about replacing or swapping out kind of store-bought prepared dressings and toppings that are not always as good for you as we would like. So this week was balsamic vinegar got a big vote. I love it. I think it's versatile, and I kind of tend to, and I buy the glaze. Have you seen the glazes? They've got like a fig glaze or a lemongrass glaze. There's some different flavors. They do have a tiny little bit of sugar in it. They're not going to kill you. So balsamic vinegar got 72 votes. Salt and pepper, of course, 24. Nothing got 20 votes. Everything's best in its natural state, as are we. 17 votes used lemon juice, olive oil and vinegar, which is a good one. I often chuck a bit of garlic in that one. 12 votes for lemon juice. How easy is that? 10 votes, nothing. I don't eat salad, which is pretty good for only 10 people to say they don't eat salad. I eat veggies. I don't eat as much salad as I eat vegetables. 10 votes Greek yogurt, 9 olive oil, fresh herbs and apple cider vinegar. Nice blend. So these are great alternatives and cheaper than buying stuff from the supermarket that you're not quite sure what's in it. Anything that you can, like a sauce, like tomato sauce or barbecue sauce that you can store in the cupboard's obviously very high in sugar. You'd be surprised what they're, and even a chutney that you buy as opposed to one that you make, loaded with sugar in a lot of cases. So whilst you're kind of not using a lot because it's just a topping, if you're doing it at every meal, it's going to add up. The other thing is if you're buying, like Praise, I'm using brand names and I'm being naughty. If you're using a supermarket brand off the shelf that would stay there for more than a year and still be okay, you've got to wonder what's going on. Sometimes it's the vinegar and it's oil and that sort of stuff, but obviously making your own is always going to be fresher, firstly. Secondly, anything that is sitting on the shelf doesn't have much life in it. So I look at those kind of things when I'm assessing a food and I'm like, how long would that sit on the shelf for? How does it stay there for that long? What's happened to it in the process, and what would be a good alternative? When you're looking at swapping out, say, a standard Italian oil-free blah-de-blah dressing from the supermarket and maybe swapping it out with like the fresh herbs, apple cider vinegar, garlic, that sort of thing, you're not only taking out that processed and the chance that you're taking in cheap oils like canola, sunflower, which are actually inflammatory oils. You can choose the oil. So you could make a nice salad dressing that has hemp oil or macadamia oil or avocado oil, and you know what it is and you know what its job is. Then you add to it your beautiful garlic. This is all just blended in your NutriBullet, if you've got one of those. And you're adding phytonutrients. And you can't underestimate the power of those things like herbs and spices and all the things that we actually can prescribe as therapeutic, health helpers on the shelf at home. So I try and, in my cooking, I try and put as much garlic, onion, as many fresh herbs, spices, that sort of stuff as I can, because I know what that's adding. It's cardiovascular health, it's anti-inflammatory, it's good for your liver, they help your gut. There's a whole stack of things that just incorporating herbs and spices in even in your dressings, sprinkle on your veggies, that sort of stuff as much as you can, absolutely boost the nutritional value of every meal, and make it taste good. So you'll see that a lot of the different countries have different kind of go-to herbs, like say let's take India and how many herbs they use in their cooking, vegetarian cooking, which always tastes great because it's got such a beautiful layering of all these different herbs and spices in it. But not only that, they also have Ayurveda, which is their herbal healing system that was developed thousands of years ago. And that's where all these herbs came from. So it's looking at the healing properties of herbs and incorporating them in your meal as much as you can, so that you're getting all these extra boosts. Even just putting lemon juice on your dish is great. It's so good for your liver. It's actually alkalizing, which is always a bit tricky because it's so acidic, but actually when it's in the body, it's an alkalizing agent, which means it's calming down acidity. So it's a real helper for that kind of thing as well. It's good for the kidneys, that sort of stuff. Bit of lemon rind always is so powerful. The bioflavonoids in lemon and orange rinds have been known to help with cardiovascular disease and vascular, like hardening of the arteries and that sort of stuff. Not varicose veins, the hemorrhoids and that sort of thing. If you take the extract, the bioflavonoids from citrus fruit as a extract, in 6 weeks you will find that your hemorrhoids are settling down because it's tonifying all of your vascular system. It's not just the ones in your bottom, it's the ones all through your system. But that's what they use it for. So look into all the different foods that you've got here, and just how health giving they are. Apple cider vinegar has hundreds of different health benefits used in moderation. It's really good for increasing the level of hydrochloric acid in the stomach, which also helps with nutrient absorption of particularly iron and calcium as well. So this week, don't miss the blog, because in the newsletter tomorrow, we've got healthy hacks. There's a whole lot of sharing the wrong one. There's a whole lot of suggestions on health hacks, like different things you can swap in and out, different things to look for when you're shopping and that sort of stuff, to really increase the flavour of your foods, not only, but also the nutritional value. I was going to say something else then about that, but it's escaped me. Other things you can add to the top of your meal: roasted pumpkin seeds. Oh my God, if you've ever tried them, they're so yummy. Make a salsa or buy one that's got no junk in it. There's a really good one I've been buying at IGA lately. It's got nothing else in it but tomatoes and herbs, and it's delightful, and maybe some jalapeno. So get the medium one, not the hot one. Spices and herbs. Also, ghee is a really nice addition, and that's like a clarified butter. You can make it yourself. And it just removes the milk solids from the butter, but it gives this rich flavour to your, roast vegetables and that sort of stuff. And it's also got some good properties in it. Look for hemp seeds. They're a great one to sprinkle on your salad. Sunflower seeds are nice raw, or you can toast them. Any of the seeds, when they're toasted, taste beautiful. You might find that the omegas are not as high in toasted or cooked ones than they are in the raw. So here's what we're talking about this week: healthy tips for healthier cooking, swapping out different things that are quite standard and finding healthier alternatives, which you're probably all quite familiar with, but we'll go through them. So potatoes to sweet potatoes, the reason we do that is also anything with colour is going to bring you more nutrition or more of those beautiful properties like plant phytonutrients. Sweet potatoes are also high in vitamin A, which a lot of weight loss surgery patients are lacking in. So anything orange in your diet is going to be really helpful to you. They've got more fiber. Don't knock a white potato, but they're higher in glycemic load. So if you're trying to keep your insulin from spiking, you would swap to a sweet potato. And you could top it with Greek yogurt and some hemp seeds, and that'd be pretty special, or some toasted pumpkin seeds. And look at that for, you know, it's actually a nice snack or a meal, even if you add enough protein to it. Take out sugar, swap in stevia. I don't mind stevia. If I'm cooking, I'd use a little bit of coconut sugar, which also has some minerals in it. So just these refined white sugar has no nutritional value and no real place. So even if you do cook with some sugar, we have a natural innate need for something sweet, which is why people like it, but also looking at what we can add to the diet, like sweet potato, which has that kind of sweet punch to it. If you roast it slowly and you let them caramelize beautifully, you can get your satisfaction for your sweet taste from there. So swap out sugar. Sour cream you can replace with Greek yogurt, and make a dressing out of the Greek yogurt using like greens, parsley, coriander, bit of garlic, Greek yogurt, blend it up, and add some lemon juice to it, and that's a dressing. I think they call it Green Goddess. Swap out white rice for cauliflower rice. We made broccoli rice tonight. That was pretty nice. All I did was just put a whole head of broccoli in the food processor and then just put it on a oven tray and baked it. Mixed a bit of coconut in there too. That was pretty good. Swap out noodles and pasta if you wish to reduce your glycemic index, and start using zoodles. Brilliant swap in, and swap out butter for ghee, like I just said. Bread. Swap out for lettuce. You can wrap your food in sandwich fillings, that sort of stuff, in lettuce leaves as well. Vegetable oils, swap them out. They're highly inflammatory. Dog's got the stuff on the bench. Avocado oil and olive oil are a great replacement. And they're also, just be careful if you're cooking oils. You can use extra virgin olive oil for cooking, but I wouldn't cook avocado oil, hemp seed oil, or flaxseed, those sorts of things. The omegas get damaged in them. And also cereals, swap those out. I don't think they necessarily have a place in the breakfast menu at all. Nuts and seeds, that kind of stuff would be a great replacement for that. Wheat flour you could get rid of and swap in with something with more nutrition in it, buckwheat flour or coconut flour. Groovy. So that's our conversation for tonight. We're looking this month at healthy swaps, and just, adding the nutritional value to your meals. I'm just going to have a look in the page and see if I'll stop sharing. Let me just have a look and see if I've got any more questions there. Often it doesn't show me, so it's a bit frustrating in that regard. Comments here. Are the dogs out? You talked about the benefits of apple cider vinegar. What about the wine vinegar? Apple cider vinegar with the mother, the fermented organic types, are positive in that they have a lot of health-giving properties. I'll post a little article about apple cider vinegar in the group. it's good for a whole range of things. The white wine vinegar, not so much on that kind of therapeutic benefit, but it's not averse to your health at all. But it's generally, it's not going to hurt you. But I would, if you're looking at the best, nutritional bang for your buck, I would use the apple cider vinegar for sure. In the mornings, people were, back in the day, apple cider vinegar, olive oil in a shot, and lemon juice and some garlic, and they'd down the hatch the first thing. I'm not sure I'd be able to do that on a bariatric tummy, but that's been shown to be quite an anti-inflammatory kind of tonifying addition to the diet. Dijon mustard in olive oil and balsamic. Yeah, that's beautiful. I make another salad dressing that's avocado, Dijon mustard, garlic, bit of what else do I put in there? Onion, dried onion, and then I just blitz it up, put a little bit of water in there, and we just put that on veggies and that sort of stuff. So they're the hints we have tonight. I can't see any more questions, and that's cool. So I'll have a look and see. Here's the prize for this week as well. I need to announce that. So this week, we've got a couple of winners. Here I go. I've got to share again. Hang on. Moving around. I'll just share this one. Share two, so that you can see who won this week. Here we go. This week's winner of Transformation Tuesday. Look at this. Nikki Daniels Climo, 35K since November 25th. What an impressive result. It's interesting to see how people actually start to really stand up straighter. It's incredible. The whole posture changes, and, just overall they start to glow, which is brilliant. You've done a great job there. And keep posting your progress in the group. Doesn't need to be before and after photos, and we make that pretty clear. If you don't want to share photos of yourself, you're welcome to share your wins, so what they call like non-sleeve victories, things that you never thought you'd do a year or two ago that now you're actually loving and enjoying, or things that you're finding about your health and your life and the decisions that you're making as a result of being a smaller version of yourself. But even that's a clever photo, Nikki, how you've held the cup in the same place, and you used to not have any room between your body and the cup. It's incredible. Even your hair color changed. Look at that. So this week, if you can let us know that you won this beautiful prize. Who won this? Oh, look at this. Flexi lunchbox set. So depending on your day and depending on how long you're out for, you've got options. And as a woman, I love options. I'm sure men love options too. But we like to do things differently on different days of the week. So this one's a full one. This one's got 3 compartments, and this one has 2, and they fold up. So once you've eaten the food out of it, you just flatten it out and pop it back in your bag and take it home to wash. That's worth $60, and you can get it on our website, bnmulti.com. There you'll find a range of food transport options, and really, and I stress this in the blog this week, it's kind of the first point I make, is about the 5 Ps: proper preparation, preventing poor performance. So think about that. Usually the minute you walk out the door with no food, the day generally tends to fall apart, because it's really hard to find protein in the level that you need it to suit your to get your 80 to 100 grams of protein in every day. You have to carry it with you. So we make it easy. So well done, Nikki. Please could you contact us, support@bnmulti.com. We'll also announce it in the group that you've won a prize, and we'll track you down somehow. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. I'll post those probiotic links in the group. If you've got any more questions about that, let me know, because gut health is a bit of a thing. And yes, please keep your questions coming, and keep on, powering through the week. Tuesday, I think we've got new podcasts this week and newsletter tomorrow. And we've also got some members' recipes and stuff like that coming up towards the end of the week. So keep your eyes on the group. And keep asking questions. And Take care of yourselves. Thank you. Wrap it up. Have a lovely week.